Hello, everyone. This is Ed Castring for Making It Happen. This is a new show on Oshkosh Community TV, and I just wanted to. This is for my days of walking. I'm doing a show for my days of walking, and plus I'm honoring my dad because he's been going through some challenges, and this newest challenge I found out today. Dad, you'll just get stronger. We're all here for you, and we love you. And to my left, the person I'm interviewing tonight is Joseph Zazinski. He is a Special Olympics volunteer plus a military veteran. Thanks for joining me, Joe.
Not a problem. My honor to help you out.
Okay. So, do you kind of want to tell the audience of how we kind of met and the backstory?
Well, I've been coaching Special Olympics for approximately since '97, and I used to drive for Cabulance and used to pick you up when you were at the college and take you home.
Because you said you were driving for like over
About a year.
yeah, and so, what got you interested in Special Olympics, or, why did you kind of pick that as your passion? Because I know you get a lot out of it.
Well, when I was younger, as a child, I had a cousin that was a deaf mute, and everybody was always picking on her in school, and I kind of defended her, and it became a passion to speak for the people that can't speak for themselves.
How did you go about kind of defending her? What steps did you have to do?
Well, there's been several different things that I've done, but some of them I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
One of them was breaking a window because somebody was picking on my cousin,
Yeah.
and it was in high school when I did it. So, but at that time I only weighed about 97 pounds, soaking wet.
Soaking wet.
So I was a real small, short, skinny kid, and people didn't think that I had that kind of courage.
And that's before you got in the military. I mean, that's
That was
before you
before the
got in the
military.
military, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But what is Joe? Joe, what is your what do you get out of Special Olympics? I know that you tell me all the time, but maybe you can tell the audience.
My thing that I get out of it is the passion of watching the athletes, including yourself, enjoy doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
and just watching the smiles and cheering you guys on and making sure you guys are doing the best that you can.
What is the hardest thing about coaching volunteering?
I'd say the hardest thing is trying to do the paperwork
Yeah.
and trying to calculate everything for tournaments.
And if you want to share one of your, stories of when you first started coaching, do you remember a story that you want to, you want to share that comes to mind?
Just taking you up to state at Stevens Point for track and field. That was always been my pride and joy, was to follow you up there and helping coach you and push you around and make sure you got to where you needed to be.
Because I'm not competitive, all right.
No, you're never competitive. That's just one of your bad suits.
Right?
At least that's what I say it is.
So,
But it's also your strong suit
yeah.
and your determination to do things that is going to be best for you.
What is the most rewarding thing about coaching?
Just like I said,
Is it
seeing the smiles on everyone's face, especially when they get their medals, if they get medals, or ribbons, if they get ribbons. I always tell my athletes I'm proud of each and every one of you, as long as you leave everything out there on the track, court, whatever you're doing, event you're doing. I don't care what place you take, as long as you leave everything there.
And you always tell me that no matter what we take, I'm still proud of you. Because I had this old coach that told me, and do you remember me telling you that if I didn't win, I was nothing, and I didn't. I felt under so much pressure, and it's like it's just Special Olympics, you know.
I've never been that type of person to say you're doing a terrible job. I promote feelings and having a person do the best that they can.
Yeah.
Because if you are having fun doing the events, you're going to try even that much harder to get a better placement.
Okay. So then, what goals do you have, like, going forward for Special Olympics? What things would you like to see change differently? You know,
Just more support by the community.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's enough people out there that are supporting Special Olympics, because I think they're more into sports themselves, but not supporting Special Olympic athletes. They'd rather support their own kids.
And Joe, do you want to talk a little bit about, if the audience doesn't know, do you want to talk about a little bit about what kind of sports we offer right now?
Right now we are in track and field, and they're also doing soccer.
Okay.
So we do have a variety of sports. The next event,
I think we have a graphic too. There we go.
Yep, it's up on there.
Yeah.
They do actually softball, baseball. I mean, not baseball, but softball, bocce, track and field, basketball skills. They do swimming, gymnastics.
Yeah, and I just kind of started that. This is 2 years ago with the gymnastics.
Gymnastics, yes.
I decided that I wanted to try something different, and
Yep.
Yeah.
And you did very well at it,
so
even this year too.
I did all right.
You did good.
Do you want to talk about how people can, like, talk about the importance of volunteering and what it means to you, and why people should volunteer more?
The reason I think people should volunteer is because I'm sure they would get the same enjoyment out of it as I do. And it's real simple to do. All you have to do is go on online, and they've got Special Olympics Wisconsin.org, and they got different sections where you can do volunteering,
Okay.
and there's applications online.
And I think we have another graphic here for the agency manager if you want to contact her. Okay. It's hopefenrick@gmail.com. I'm not sure how to spell the last name, but we should have that graphic in there, but maybe we don't. Okay. Well, I can share a personal story. A few weeks ago, I was at Basketball Skills, and there was this little boy, Javon, who was helping me in and out of the bathroom. And, well, he was helping me get the door, but when I met him in there, he said to me, he goes, I feel sorry for you. And I said, don't feel sorry for me. He goes, why is that? I said, because God made me that way. He made me special. Then he goes, oh, that's cool. And he's like, and then I'm like, can I have help out of the bathroom, because I was struggling. He's like, oh, sure. And then his coach lit up, and coach was so proud of him. And it's just it's about the little things. It's not it's not about the big things.
It's joint effort between athletes. You're always out there trying to help each other out, and it's the same thing with coaching or volunteering. We're there to help you guys do the best that you can.
Well, yeah, we get so much out of it, being from a team and helping each other out when we're having down days.
Yep. And I've even told you, if you have to, give me a call if you're having a bad day.
Yeah. So, on that note, for your service in the community now, besides the Special Olympics, I know that you were that you were in the Marines and stuff too, and that you were in the reserves as well. Do you want to share? Well, what got you interested in the reserves and the Marines first of all?
Well, the Marine Corps I joined because I had two cousins that were in. One of them hated it, and the other one did 26 years.
Okay.
So I went in basically to find out if I'd like it.
Did they ever tell you any stories like?
Not really. They just didn't. One didn't like it, and the other one loved it. And they didn't tell me why. They just did it because they did.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, I joined just to find out if I'd like it. The Marine Corps was pretty good to me.
Okay.
I had a pretty good duty station. I was stationed over at Kaneohe Marine Corps Air Station, Kaneohe, Hawaii.
Okay. Do you want to share a story?
Well, I went on 3 Westpacks, so I got to see quite a few places: Philippines, Australia, Africa, Hong Kong, Korea.
Quite different cultural wise?
It was because when I was on my Westpacks, we did a field exercise with the Korean Army,
Okay.
and we also did a field exercise with the Australian Army.
Okay.
So there was different cultures there. We were showing them different things that we did compared to what they did when their military was running.
Okay.
So I think they were trying to kind of copy what we do in the 2 armies.
And what branch were you again?
I was a Marine Corps for 4 years active, 2
Okay.
years inactive, and then I did 8 years in the Army Reserves.
Okay. And what were some of your your darkest days, and what were some of your brightest days in the Marines?
One of my worst days was when I was in the Marine Corps. I had a friend that got killed by an unexploded bomb,
Okay.
and I was pretty close to him. We were real
and
good friends.
And how was that? And how long were you friends for?
About 3 years
Okay.
out of the 4 years I was in.
Okay.
And I watched him actually get killed and thought I had it all blocked out until 9/11 happened.
Do you still have flashbacks?
Medication helps a lot,
No.
but when I first saw it, it caused me to fall into deep depression,
Okay.
and I
Because
tried
my next question was going to be, how does it affect you mentally and physically?
when I saw the trade center happen, I tried to commit suicide 3 times
Okay.
in one night.
Okay.
If it wouldn't have been for my daughter, I probably wouldn't be here answering your questions.
Because she stopped you, right?
She stopped me all 3 times.
Okay.
So the Lord put her in the right spots at the right time.
And you got a lot of people that love you, including me. So,
Yeah, pretty much.
what were some of your brighter moments?
Just meeting the different cultures, like the Philippines, the African.
Did you ever have a language challenge?
Not really,
Okay.
because most of them spoke English. Some of them weren't real good English, but they did speak
Okay.
English.
What were some of your? Did you get any honors for serving, or I know that you.
When I was in the Marine Corps, when I left, I got a honorable discharge. I got after 3 years of service, I got a good conduct medal.
Okay.
And when I was on my Westpacks,
And how do you earn a good conduct medal?
just not getting caught doing anything bad.
Okay.
Pretty much. All you have to do is do your job, and that's it.
Do your job and that's it.
Yep, just not get any kind of trouble.
Do you think some of your physical issues? I know they can't pinpoint it to the Marines or Reserves, but like your fibromyalgia and other stuff you have going on are accompanied to that, or I know they.
It's
I know
possible,
doctors can't pinpoint it. So.
It's possible, but it's hard to say.
What would you say to somebody out there that would want to serve to? to the Marines, or
I think it would be a very good thing for them. For one thing, it'll give them a little bit of discipline.
yeah,
It'll give them pride and honor in what they're doing
yeah,
with their lives.
okay,
Um, and it'll work on your strength and endurance,
and it will make you a stronger person.
physically and mentally, yes.
Yes.
It's just the way people are. Some people take the military and use it for the best of themselves, and some just use it as an excuse to get out of doing something they didn't want to do. Like when I was in, if you got in trouble with the law, they told you either jail or the military, and a lot of them took the military.
Okay.
Nowadays, I don't think it's that way.
And was it that way too? Like, you couldn't fraternize with a woman Marine, because I know
Well, you could talk to them. You can fraternize with them. If they were an officer,
Okay.
and you were an enlisted person, then you couldn't do it.
Okay.
You can still talk to them. You can still hang out with them, but you couldn't do anything physically.
Now, I know that how did you and your wife meet? Because I know that she likes the men in uniform, so she probably was attracted to you like right away, because she's like, oh, he looks good.
Well, when I got out of the military, she found me in a bar. I was a little on the drunk side. I don't even remember the first time I met her. But I was in pretty good shape when she first met me,
Yeah.
and the uniform fit pretty good.
And that's what she's like, oh, I gotta talk to him.
Pretty much.
And how has that affected your? How has the being in the Marines affected your family life, besides your personal life?
It just doesn't really affect it any. It just
Okay.
gives me a little bit more discipline.
No, but how do you think it's affected them besides you?
My kids and my wife both honor the flag, and they all honor all veterans
Okay.
of any war or any conflict, or even a man in uniform now. If they see him, they'll walk up to him and shake their hand and tell them, "Thank you for your service."
And I know that when you're out with me, when we go out to a restaurant, wherever we go to a store, you always stop and say hi, thank you to your service and stuff.
Yep, I do it to every veteran I see. And when I see someone from the Vietnam War, I'll also come up to them, shake their hand, and tell them thank you and welcome home.
Okay.
Because a lot of them didn't get the respect they deserved when they did come home. They got,
Oh, you don't think so?
no, most of them got spit at, called every name in the book.
Do you remember? Do you have a story that you want to share as far as that
Well,
goes?
I was one day at a parade. I think it was a Memorial Day parade, and I started talking to a guy, and he said he came back from Vietnam. He was sitting in the airport, drinking with a woman, just talking back and forth for about 2 hours. His flight got called. He stood up, put his military uniform on, and the woman spit in his face and called him every name in the book.
Really?
So when I see any veteran from, like I said, from Vietnam, I always tell them, thank you for your service and welcome home. You didn't get it when you came home the first time.
Why would somebody spit on somebody anyways?
Back then, they all thought that all the Vietnam veterans did were kill babies and women, even though they were trying to protect our country in a way, in our ways.
Okay.
They were just doing what they thought was honorable to them at the time.
What kind of honor do you get from serving? Because you served a year in the Marines and Reserves.
4 years.
Or 4 years.
4
excuse
years
me.
in the Marines, 2 years in active, and then 8 years in the Army Reserves.
Okay.
And the honor it gives me is just knowing that I was part of the people that took care of or tried to protect our way of life and
Did-
making sure everybody here was free
Yeah,
to make their own choices.
because it is important to have a good military.
Yes.
And do you think being in the military's made you look at life differently?
Not
Would
really.
would you be the same person that I'm sitting across from if you weren't in the military?
That's hard to say
Okay.
because I was respectful of others before I even joined the military.
Okay.
So it's just the way I was. It had nothing to do with my childhood, but
Okay.
it's just the way I was before I even joined the military.
Yep. You had a lot of respect for that.
I respected elders,
Yep.
people that were older than I was.
And did anybody recruit you to first get in the Marines at all?
No,
Or was it more of a sign up, or did you get
I
drafted?
I volunteered.
Oh, okay.
I got volunteered, and I was going to join with my brother, who got put on a waiting list because he said something that he shouldn't have said.
Okay.
That he was doing drugs when he was younger,
Okay.
and he ended up having to go in. He wait 3 months before he could join.
Okay.
So I still went in because I had already done so.
How and like you said, you can't prove that the fibromyalgia and even your back
Problems was caused by it.
caused by that. But I want to bet you it had something to attribute to that.
Well, we do a lot of exercising. They make you do a lot of sit-ups, push-ups, pull-ups.
Yeah, like I was going to ask you too, how was the training regimen?
The Marine Corps is the toughest branch, physically
Yeah.
and mentally challenged. Because
So it's
that's
not
just-
it's not something everybody can handle.
it's not something everyone can handle, but it's good physical training
Okay.
because it'll give you strength and endurance.
It's kind of like the Special Olympics. It's good.
Right.
It's good physical training. So
Right. And it's also mental training
yes.
because you think sometimes before you have to do. Mm-hmm. And
I know sometimes I overthink when I do my events, and
right,
so
you just gotta do what's good for you and just keep trying your best. And that's what I always tell you and any other athlete that I coach for.
I remember back when I was 15 when I won my first gold medal. I'm like, now I belong. I felt accepted because before then I was kind of put down and judged in school, and people were like, you can't do this or that, and I remember, and it's just from being in special ed. People told me I couldn't do a lot of things, but winning my first gold medal really
Told you could.
really told me I could, and it gave me the confidence, and I'm like, yeah, I actually belong. And just because somebody tells you you can't do something doesn't mean to give up. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this show, is because I want to see people like you. That's why we're highlighting you tonight, because you've done so much for the community, and I want to let people know that to make it happen, you got to take certain steps, but you also need to have the right people to back you, but not to give up.
Right, and also you have to want to do it. It shouldn't be something that you are made to do.
No, you should want to do it, because
It's always better when you're volunteering to do something than to have somebody tell you you have to do it.
Mm-hmm. I always have my favorite saying in the back of my head every time I'm facing a challenge, or I want to let my viewers know out there too. If you're ever having a a challenging day, you're not alone. Don't think you're alone. And if you want to share a story idea from me, to email me. We have a graphic up here. That's edcastern@joomla.com. If you have a story idea you want to share, because I would like to have this program take off, and I'm just letting people that they're not alone, and that to share their ideas, because it's okay to talk to somebody. And just because you're told you can't do something, that's not the right mindset. It's just, because like I said, if you couldn't handle it, God wouldn't give it to you. So
Exactly.
And
Plus, I always tell you too that you're my inspiration, especially when I see
even
you
though
walking.
I say I'm just me, but
Every time I hear about how many days in a row you've walked, it really helps. It helps me feel better about myself. And then when I think about feeling down, I always think of you, and it brings me back up, because life handed you a
Yeah.
wheelchair,
But
where
I don't-
he gave me 2 strong legs.
but I don't know any different.
Right, and I don't see you in any other form.
So
That's why we're best friends.
in closing, I would like to tell my audience, if you ever want to challenge yourself or do something or try something new, is to make it happen, and just to take those steps and have those people that believe in you and support you along the way, because you can do whatever you want. And if you have a suggestion for a show, or if you just want to email me and to shoot me a message and say, hey, what's my issue I'm having, maybe I can help you out. And that's how you make it happen, kind of like Joe's doing, kind of like I'm doing. And I want to say thank you to the crew and everybody, and let's go make it happen in our community. Let's change the community to make it better. Thank you.